Edmund and Edmond leapt up from behind their counter. Edmund had a joke arrow through his head and Edmond a joke axe. Oh, what an incredible shock, said the boy sarcastically. Ned felt rather cool, astride his beast of a bike. The evil pair looked most displeased. We didn't expect to see you back, remarked Edmund. Well, boys, here I am, said Ned defiantly. What a revolting looking motorbike, said Edmund dismissively. It's a monster, said Ned as he revved the engine. Brum, brum, brum. It's funny, is what it is, said Edmund. Funny peculiar, not funny ha ha, said Edmund. We want it out of our emporium now. And if you're looking for a refund on the robot that you smashed to smithereens, it's a no. See, there they are looking at him and his motorbike. No, replied Ned. It's not that. I just wondered if you had one particular toy. Toy? Toy? spluttered Edmund. This is Edmund and Edmond's Envy's Emporium, the greatest toy shop on the whole island. The only toy shop on the island, remarked Ned. Still the greatest, said Edmund. What are you looking for, boy? said Edmund. A bouncy ball that never stops bouncing, suggested Edmund, picking one up from behind the counter and hurling it at the floor. Boing, 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 boing. Oh no, not that one. Boing, 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 boing. And a lot of boings. And more boings on the next page as well. An exploding rubber ducky, chimed in his twin brother. Perfect for a deadly bath. He turned the timer on the side, then rushed to the door and threw it out onto the road. Kaboom! Thick white liquid spread all over the window. Splat, split, splut. The milk float, doing its early morning round, had exploded. When the milkman returned to it with his crate, he looked mightily shocked because they threw that exploding rubber ducky out. A Scrabble set without any vowels, said Edmond, picking up their own version of the classic game. All consonants, that means no letters at all. The evil pair chuckled at the thought. The boy simply shook his head and smiled. Ned was in no rush. In fact, he was determined to enjoy this. A giant cuddly tarantula spider, purred Edmond. It even bites with real venom, added Edmund. Thwack! A potato gun that fires whole potatoes, announced Edmund, pulling the trigger. Bang! The potato went straight through the window. Shatter! Edmund gave Edmond a whack around the back of his head. Thwack! See, there's the spider. You can't see the exploding potato at this point. Ouch! A balloon we blew up with our own wretched bottom gas, continued Edmund, letting out some of the putrid air. Splat! Pooh! exclaimed Ned. It really did stink. Our brand new snakes and ladders set, now with real live snakes. The pair opened the box. To his horror, Ned could see hundreds of snakes slithering inside, all going sssss. The boy slammed the box shut. No, snapped Ned. There is something else I want. Something even more revolting than all those toys you suggested. The twins looked at each other and grimaced as if to say, more revolting? Pray tell, child, hissed Edmond. Here at our Envy's Emporium, we do pride ourselves on selling the most revolting toys in the world. I know, Ned agreed. All the children on the island know. But there is a toy that is guaranteed to appall even you. Ha ha ha, the pair sniggered. We're such an appalling pair, I very much doubt anything could appall us, exclaimed Edmund. Well, let's just see, Edmund and Edmond Envy, began the boy. I thought we were both called Edmond, said Edmund. Shut up, hissed Edmond. Edmond and Edmund Envy of Envy's Emporium, I want to introduce you to the wonderful world of... Ned took a deep breath and shouted, slime! Chapter 15, Giant Jelly Babies. Nothing happened. The Envy twins looked all around their emporium before turning their beady-eyed gaze to the boys. Boy, what are you shouting, boy? Demanded Edmond. We are standing right here, said Edmund. A feeling of panic washed over Ned, as Slime was all the way up on the roof and must not have heard. There was only one thing for it: shout louder. Gee, that's him. It's like he's on the bike, but he's still waiting for Slime to come down the roof. So it's sort of Slime's in two pieces. He had to shout louder. I said I wanted to introduce you both to the wonderful world of slime, repeated Ned. Still nothing. Things were not going to plan. Slime! The boy shouted again. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. The Envy twins shared a look. Why, oh why, do you keep shouting slime? Asked Edmond. Because if you say it loud enough, it will magically appear. Oh. Oh, indeed, agreed Ned. Let all the three of us try together. 1, 2, 3. But before they could shout slime, slime appeared. It was gushing down the chimney and began flowing through the fireplace all over Envy's Emporium. Gurgle, gurgle. I'm sorry I'm late, Slime called out. I was on the loo. Ned looked puzzled. He had no idea that Slime had to go to the loo. What would it pass? More slime? It wasn't time to think about that, as all at once the shop was awash with slime. Ferjurgle! No! Shouted the pair, and this time it was Ned's turn to do the chuckling. Ha ha ha! The two men were up to their knees in the stuff. Slime whisked the boy up and placed him on the counter. Ouch! Bellowed Edmund at the slime. Shoo! Bawled Edmond. Begone! They both screamed. But still the slime was rising in the shop. Bejurgle, murgle. Now, Slime, began Ned. Yes, Ned, replied Slime, as it was now coming up to their necks. I want you to trans-slime into a dozen little children. What? Exclaimed the Envies. Just a dozen, you say? Slime asked mischievously. Make it a nice round 100, replied the boy. No, cried the pair. But there was nothing they could do. In a moment, Slime began breaking up into 100 blobs. These blobs all took the shape of children. Soon there was an army of giant jelly babies. Children! Screamed Edmond. Children, children everywhere! Now, kids, called out Ned, help yourself to any toy in the shop. No, cried Edmund. But there was no stopping them. The children of every size, shape and colour began taking the toys off the shelves until Envy's Emporium was completely bare. The Envy twins tried to stop the children by snatching the toys back, but then another giant jelly baby would come up behind them and give them a good old whack around the head with a toy. Boof! Ow! The biggest of the giant jelly babies ran to the counter and Ned pushed himself onto his shoulders. Squelch. See, there's all those toys. Jelly babies. Time to go, ordered Ned. All the other giant jelly babies charged out behind him, all proudly holding their toys. Word must have spread around the island that something was going on at Envy's Emporium. The frizzy-haired girl was back, and this time she brought her friends. There were children from all over Mulch waiting outside the shop. The giant jelly babies handed the children each a toy. Thank you, Ned. You're the best. This is brilliant. Serves the twins right. Look. Yes, that's good. Wow, cool, shouted the children as they made their way off with the loot. Inside the shop, Edmond and Edmund were broken men. They fell to their knees and howled in despair. Ned slowly opened the door before shouting through the gap. Boo! Ah! The twins screamed. Oh, yes. They're pretty cowardly. They can't take it. They could just give it out, can't they? Hey, they're crying. Chapter 16. The perfect shade of green. From high in the sky, the island's park rolled into view. Slime had translimed into a pterodactyl, the flying reptile that had ruled the skies a million years ago. Ned was riding its back with a smug-tastic grin on his face. A pterodactyl darkening the sky must have been a terrifying sight for anyone below in the park. See? Flying. Not that there ever were many people in Mulch Park. That's because the park keeper expressly forbade it. Aunt Greta Greed had appointed the old soldier, Captain Pride, as the island's park keeper. The man took such pride in his kingdom, or parkdom, that nobody was ever allowed to go inside. Keep off the grass is a sign you might see in the park. Keep off the path. Keep off the park. There was no doubt that the park keeper kept the most perfect park, not just on the island, but in the whole world. The grass was an exact shade of green, not too brown, not too yellow, just green. If a blade of grass became in any way discoloured, Captain Pride would dangle himself over the lawn with his special Pride's tackle. This was a piece of apparatus that Captain Pride himself, ex-member of the Queen's Guard, had invented. It consisted of a winch, a harness, and a series of ropes and pulleys. Pride's tackle allowed the captain to dangle over the grass without ever touching it. Then he would take out his 24-piece green felt-tip pen set with every shade of green imaginable and no other colours, and then dangling just above the ground, the captain would colour in the discoloured blade of grass so it matched all the others perfectly. The park keeper was doing just that when he heard the flapping of prehistoric wings overhead. Flap, flap, flap. Of all the things the park keeper expected to see that day, a flying reptile was not one of them. See, that's him, first of all, colouring in the blades of grass, and there's his all different colour green pens. In his army years, Captain Pride had witnessed many terrifying things while serving in the jungle. He had woken up to discover a python slowly digesting his right foot as he slept. And been blasted in the bottom by a bazooka. Boom! Mamma mia! Tiptoed over stepping stones to cross a river only to discover they were actually snapping crocodiles. Snap, snap, snap. See, first of all, there's him with his foot getting eaten by a boa constrictor, and then there's him standing on the snapping crocodiles thinking that they were stones. Stumbled across a whoop of gorillas who were intent on playing kiss chase with him. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yuck, yuck, yuck. He'd been caught in a stampede of elephants, stamp, stomp, stomp, and then marched around as flat as a pancake for weeks. He looked in the mirror to shave his beard off, except on closer inspection, it wasn't a beard. Oh no, it was a great big hairy caterpillar squatting on his chin. No! He yanked on what he thought was a toilet chain, only to find it was in actual fact the tail of a tiger. Rawr! Put on his